All right, so the first thing we just worked on is change your stance a little bit. We just moved the elbow back, basically. That's all we did. Okay, and you want to feel like it's a 3/4 push away. To you, really it's going to feel like a half a push. It's going to feel very small. This one left, I had you feel like it was the smallest push away of your life. And right about there, that's as far as you really need to push. Elbows at the front on the side, ball's starting to come down a little bit. Perfect position, really. Okay. This one here, start with the elbow a little further out. And then when you push, it's easier to kind of lock out. Okay, so you see I push just a little bit more aggressively almost. And then it goes out, the left hand comes off. This one here still goes out, doesn't go out quite as far. You see the ball's about the same height, but you see how you're reaching out more here on the right than on the left. The ball is the same height.
Yeah.
You see how the ball left the left hand more on the right. So as you push, you really want to help control with that left hand. Okay? We don't want out motion on step 2. It should be out on 1. It should come down on 2. So it's still going out a good half or 3/4 of a ball, a little bit too far. But you see a slight difference in timing, maybe a half a ball, if that. Okay, a few inches anyway. See where your hand is compared to your back leg. Okay. If the push rate didn't go out as far, it would have been a little bit more into the swing. Okay. In real-time motion, it was just a smoother push, and this felt small. It doesn't necessarily look small. And see how, if you look at the shape of the push rate, it's still just a little bit oval. What do I mean by that? The shape here, it's a little bit more elliptical, kind of that shaped instead of we want round. Okay, if you watch this shape again, you can see it's a little bit elliptical. See that shape right there? If I show you a nice round push away, it's just smaller. Okay. Even if we look at Ozio here, look at the shape, it's rounder. See that? So they're not locking out, they're not going out on step 2, it's out of 1, down on 2. Okay, so to you it's going to feel like a tiny push, but that it's a more relaxed motion. And when you thought about that, even though it wasn't quite as short as you wanted, the ball was coming off your hand better. Okay.
It felt like it was.
Yep. Let's go to back view stuff that we did. This first one here, only focus was the push away, and you felt like you pushed a good 10 inches left. And we have proof you didn't. Okay. But see, without a visual, your muscle would have told, okay, that was too far left. It really wasn't too far left. It was just way less right.
Yeah.
But your muscles would have told you were overdoing it, and you weren't. That was actually right in line with the shoulder. So as that ball comes down below the waist, that's a big difference of where the ball is.
Yeah.
And on the right, that brings your body over into the right. Okay? You know, muscle memory is very strong, and your body will figure things out. The more you push straight, the more the body will figure it out. It doesn't have to be over there anymore. Okay? We can see as it starts to go above the waist here, came to the middle of your back. This one, as it comes above the waist, it's not quite that far. Okay? It goes a little bit more than we want, but not as far left as that one. So it is straighter.
Yeah.
Okay? Yep. Let's go back now on the one to the left. Get to that push away. And then we had that another shot where you had the feeling of you're pushing left, but your head stays a little bit more left. So you see on the picture left, the head really went over to the right. This one, you thought about that a little bit more, and hey, that looks a little bit better.
A little, yeah.
Okay. And when you work on stuff like this, you have to be very specific to your muscles, one thing at a time.
Not trying
Hard
to
to
do
multitask.
Yeah.
Now, a big advantage is a lot of the stuff you can do at home with a mirror. You don't have to leave your house, it doesn't cost anything, and you see what's hard to feel. Okay? So then you have to fake yourself out, because when you fake yourself out, your body says it's wrong when it's right. And then it's hard to say, wow, that felt like crap, that's what I want. Unless you can prove it. Okay? So both of these were a little bit better. The other ones both came to the center of your back.
Yeah, you definitely see them farther over.
Correct. If you watch, look where your head is compared to the masking unit here. There's a gap here now. There isn't here. And this is on the right is the one you thought about keeping your head more left. So it felt like it was left. It was just less right. Okay. But you see how it's really a big mind game is what it is. Okay. And as you keep working on that, the backs will eventually get straighter. The other thing we talked about is that sensation of just swinging from the shoulder. You don't want to swing with your upper body. You're swinging from your upper body. The more you help with your upper body, the more your swing comes in. Okay. But both of those were straighter. If you want, so when you just thought about the push rate, this was a nice straight push, by the way. So it still comes in. It's going to take some homework.
Yeah.
Okay. If we look at the one you did with the back foot position, and let's compare this to the original one again. On the original one, that back foot, the toes really stayed pointing to the right. This one here, we thought about having the toes point more left, and they went over there. Okay. We don't want them over and pointing straight down the lane. We want them pointing this way. So it's still a little bit straight up and down, but it went over better, and that gives you a better counterbalance for the weight to swing on the right side of the body. Okay. If I show you an example here, a great example, we'll pull up one of the women here. She does it really well. Where it's not about throwing the leg over. You see how her toes are pointing more left?
Mm-hmm.
So the toes are left of the heel.
Yeah,
Okay.
she didn't throw her leg over.
Correct. Well, that's something, again, you can do at home with a mirror.
Yeah.
Okay. But all this stuff we're working on is so that everything on the lane gets better. When we had the smoother pusher, you had a smoother finish. So you see how the beginning kind of dictates the ending of the approach. And that being said, what happens on the lane is a result of your approach.
Definitely.
Right? You know, short term, I would just simply have you think the first thing we did was just smaller, smoother push and relax. Because you started making better shots through that, the ball was coming off your hand better.
Yeah,
Right.
it felt a lot better. Just
The directional stuff and the toes going left, that's something to work on when you go home. And that's something to work on in the tournament.
yeah.
Okay? All right, everything makes sense?
Oh yeah.
Good. Let's stop the disc here. So everything